Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie, and I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So yeah, so that was I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show in.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
How could you tell the story of baseball without Clemens, Rose, and Bonds? You don't have a Hall of Fame if you don't have those three dudes. Sills, you know what, man? These guys took steroids. There wasn't a steroid test and a PED test in Major League Baseball at the time. Do you understand this?
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Hour number 2 on a Friday show right here on the SportsGrid Network, the early line. Donnie right side, Joe Ranieri, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. Your weekend is here, and yes, I understand there is no football this weekend, and maybe this weekend you finally get to spend some time like, wow, I actually have a wife and a kid or a significant other, or hey, I actually have a family I can go see because Saturdays and Sundays will be open. You can run all those errands. Maybe a little Home Depot, maybe a little Bed Bath & Beyond out here in the streets. Maybe go out to a nice bistro on a Saturday, Sunday before you get Super Bowl Sunday next weekend. But we got hot topics coming up at hour number 2. A lot of fun, action-packed, just the way we like it, Joe, on a Friday.
Yeah, I mean, it's time, plenty of time to get that honeydew list all done. So it's get it done now, fellas here. Do not wait till last minute because there is a lot going on. Not just, obviously, the big game coming up, but my goodness, we got plenty of huge college basketball games. And we're getting at that point, Donnie, in the NBA where, all right, we'll have the break, and then we're getting ready for that final push towards the postseason in the association. And maybe we'll get a little more effort when that time comes.
By the way, it's been freezing cold in the Northeast. Last Sunday, we had a nice snowstorm followed by a event that just dumped ice after ice after ice everywhere. There is no grass where I'm at in South Jersey, quite frankly, all of northern New Jersey as well. Here's the issue, Joe. You have dogs, I have dogs. My dogs are furious, and I'm going to guarantee you, Stanley Steamer is going to make a ton of money in the Northeast because when the dogs go out every day and be like, there's no grass, I'm fed up with this, they tend to say, hey, this carpet looks like a nice piece of grass in the house, Joe. Ever have that problem?
Yeah, well, they do make indoor grass now, Donnie, believe it or not, that you can go and that you can get there. Just hop on Amazon, get it done there. You can have an entire yard in your kitchen if you like, Donnie. That should go over well.
Just like when you go to the airport, right? It's like, hey, that little doggy corner over there. The dogs go over there, make their business and happen. But that is what it is. It's just a fact of life. I need to see grass again, and I don't know when I'm going to see it. It's 20 degrees every single day. Let's get to the hottest topics across the sports landscape. In our early lineup, the Super Bowl coming up next. Well, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. But bets are already flying. $1.5 billion, at least that we know legally, going to get tossed around, Joe.
Yeah, there's a lot of money coming down. Again, single biggest betting event, handle-wise, around the globe, really, Donnie. I mean, it's when you have that many eyeballs fixated on one event at one time and that many outs, I can promise you we could be setting a ton of records this year for the amount of people throwing a little something down on this game.
People also buying up those squares and boxes. 2-0, end of the first quarter. That's a winner right there, baby. Get ready for all that fun as well. And also, Super Bowl Sunday, Mike Vrabel's like, hey, Patriots fans, calm down. I know there's a shoulder injury. I know Drake May's been limited to practice. My guy's going to be just fine. Don't you worry.
He will be fine. More than enough time to be able to heal up. And listen, Sam Darnold will be fine with the oblique injury. The whole point of having that extra week, Donnie, because we didn't always have that, but the whole point of it is to give these guys an opportunity for no excuses. Everyone healthy, everyone ready to go, or as healthy as you can be at this point, but ready to go. Everybody's got bumps and bruises. Drake May will be just fine.
Remember when Keon Coleman came to town for the Buffalo Bills, giving those funny interviews like, hey, I bought 3 coats here at JCPenney. I bought them in the summer because it's cheaper in the winter. And, Tiger, I wish I would, I believe he called himself when he tries to golf. Well, things aren't going so swimmingly in Buffalo, but the head coach is like, man, I got to protect this kid. He's going to be a Buffalo Bill. Don't you worry.
Yeah, he's, well, that remains to be seen. For how much longer, Donnie? That's the big question mark. But listen, the guy has underperformed. He hasn't lived up to expectations, and I don't think it's for a talent reasons, obviously, is that he was immature at Florida State. He had his issues there. There were red flags. Yeah. They drafted him anyway, and unfortunately, those red flags still exist here. He just refuses to grow up, so there's no reason for him to be sitting on the sidelines in important games down the stretch of the season because he's missing curfew or meetings or whatever it is. Like, at some point, you got to grow up and be a pro. I don't know if that happens, though.
Terry Pagula said, you know what? I based my entire existence on this franchise on that last loss that we just took. And you could have sat back and said, boy, they fought hard. They were injured on defense, and your quarterback had a broken foot. But you decided that was the head coach's problem, that he couldn't get him over the hump. Well, now that we find out Josh Allen did have surgery on a broken foot, and still the head coach was fired because that's his fault.
Very strange that we even heard this and that he admitted to it. Like, yeah, I got a little bit of a problem. And then we all remember, Donnie, when he came out of it, we thought it was like a foot problem, like, oh boy, is he going to be okay? Is he not? But, thinking that Josh Allen was ever going to miss a game because of a hurt foot or something along those. Who knew it was broken, Donnie? It would have been nice to have that information, but it certainly didn't stop him from going over his rushing props, though, in all those games.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Like, remember when Sean McDermott's like, oh, you can't put your quarterback in harm's way, and I don't want the tush-push out here anymore. They used to tush-push more than anybody, and the quarterback had a broken foot. Maybe that's why they fired him, saying, hey, we told you the guy's got a broken foot. Stop calling these plays, even though he's not even the offensive coordinator, but still getting blamed as the head coach. The Philadelphia Eagles, they found their offensive coordinator. It's Sean Mannion. Oh, he's been a coordinator for 2 years calling plays? No, he's been a coach for 2 years in the NFL, and now he's taking the hot seat on maybe the biggest hot seat on the planet. Eagles offensive coordinator. Let me tell you something, brother. Opening weekend, next weekend, you go 3-and-out on that first drive, I don't think you're going to make it back.
Well, listen, he was a quarterback in the NFL for a decade, right? He's 2 years removed from playing, but I thought he did a great job. Quarterbacks coach last season there with Green Bay. Anybody who's watched Malik Willis this year and how far he's come, and Jordan Love, obviously, yeah, he appears to know what he is doing, and now that'll translate, I think, pretty well into Philadelphia. He's not going to be intimidated. Been there and done this before, so could be the next hot coordinator that is going to be around the game for a very long time, Donnie.
The NBA dunk competition. I said it for a couple years, like before Mac McClung came back and basically saved it here. Mac McClung's not even really an NBA player, but they let him dunk. The atmosphere around the All-Star weekend is absolutely nil at this point. And it used to be, and it's not an old man yelling at clouds. Like in the 80s and 90s, it was must-watch TV where you gathered all your friends around and had to watch the dunk competition. It was sensational. It wasn't slow-moving where they delay everything out, and it was great theater. And now we're saying to ourselves, all right, the dunk competition is back, and guess what? Haynes and Bryant are in it this year. And I always joke, I used to do a show with Kevin Walsh and said, you know what? If you really want to make this great again, Let the fans vote on the top 4 dunkers they want in the competition. So let's just say LeBron James got voted in. If LeBron James then declines, you suspend LeBron James for 10 games in the second half without pay. How about that? Do you think those players would actually go to the dunk competition if they knew they were getting a 10-game unpaid suspension here? They never would do that. But when the superstars don't care about the activities of All-Star Weekend, why should the fans care either, Joe?
Yeah, so you got a L.A. Lakers center who barely plays, and then you got a San Antonio Spurs rookie who nobody even knows exists in Carter Bryant. They have accepted invitations to the slam dunk contest. Like, what? Why? Like, come on, man. I mean, what happened to the Dominique versus MJ or the Vince Carter years or Aaron Gordon for that matter, right? Versus Zach LaVine. Like, what are we doing? You just don't do it. Like, just do away with it at this particular point. Don't give me Jackson Hayes and Carter Bryant and expect anybody to tune in.
The crowd is going to be on fire for that one here. And how about the Atlanta Falcons finally make a general manager hire? It's Ian Cunningham here. He's going to report to the head coach, and he's probably going to report also to Matt Ryan, who is the president of operations for the Falcons. They got their man now because they just get some wins on the football field here and get their quarterback healthy.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, listen, it's not like you don't have talent on that team, so let's see if they can figure it out with this draft and offseason.
Little hockey talk coming up. Why? Because it's freezing cold here in the north. I might have a hockey. I might be able to skate on my front yard at this point right now. We'll be back. Ooh.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie, and I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So yeah, so that was I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show in.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, you know, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
How could you tell the story of baseball without Clemens, Rose, and Bonds? You don't have a Hall of Fame if you don't have those three dudes. Sills, you know what, man? These guys took steroids. There wasn't a steroid test and a PED test in Major League Baseball at the time. Do you understand this?
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Hockey, it's freezing cold. We're almost in the month of February. We're starting to get ready for the playoffs here, which my Flyers won't be a part of once again. They're never part of playoffs. I don't think they made the playoffs since they won the Cup in 74-75. But if we take a look at the World Hockey Report, I always get a kick out of these. Like, you figure, you know, organizations treating their fans kindly here, good organizations, good arenas go hand in hand. Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs here, one of the more famous organizations in professional sports because they are in basically the financial center of Canada. And the expectations for them on a year-to-year basis, they spend money, they expect to have superstars, and the fans are expected to enjoy the arena experience and pay a lot for it here. But it turns out the atmosphere in the arena, Joe, 32nd in the NHL. Affordability in the NHL, 1.5 was the rating, which is 32nd. We have Cam come on each and every week tell us it's just too costly to go to a Maple Leafs game. They don't get a lot of bang for their buck, because if we're talking about we can spend, we have pockets like the Yankees in Major League Baseball, but none of the championships to go along with it, that is a tough scene for Canada that loves their hockey.
Yeah, it's a very tough scene, especially given the fact that I think when you look at it, one of the best places on a list of when they rank the arena is the Canadiens, the Bell Center, which is not very good there, Toronto. And the Canadiens haven't been good in a hot minute. Toronto's always viable, but it's brutal. It's ask anybody in that Scotiabank Arena. Not a fan-friendly place to go and just kick back and watch a game, that's for sure.
If they change it back to the Air Canada Center, does that get up a couple bump of points there at this point? Because I think the Scotiabank Center is throwing everybody there at that point here. But again, when I was growing up, we had the tiny arenas like where Quebec played. And what was the Quebec's? I forget what they used to call the place in Quebec. And they also had. Do you remember the bet? No,
it was the Bell Center.
Back in the day. No, I'm talking way back in the day. What was it called? The Pepsi Center, maybe? Or some, I don't know, some way back where they used to play. But also, do you remember, Joe, in Ottawa, got their team back, and they played in an arena that looked like it had like a back wall where it only had 3 rows in it, man? You had some crazy barns in Canada back in the day.
You did. You had a ton back in the day, and everyone felt like they were on top of one another there. It was, I mean, that was the fun stuff where guys could actually, get over the glass if they wanted to onto it. So it's changed a little bit, some of these centers and where they play hockey games now. But and I'm looking here right now. I'm seeing Florida too, which what do Floridians know about hockey? But they're right in the middle. They're right around 15th or 16th best in the NHL right now.
By the way, was Miami, were they always in Sunrise, or did they play like the Miami Arena? Was there a different arena that they played in before Sunrise,
when they first started? Yes. Yeah, when they first started, with Van Beesberg, when back in the day when they first were the expansion team, they didn't have the BB&T or Sunrise, whatever they call it now, Amerint Bank Arena. Yeah, that didn't exist, but once it did, that's when they moved.
How about Patrick Kane here? 1,375 points and counting as he passed Mike Modano for most points all time by a U.S.-born player. Feels like he's been playing since the 70s, man. Jeez.
Forever, man. I mean, he was still part of one of that great run that the Blackhawks had there, where they were just unstoppable, and he's still in it doing it, which is just kind of crazy. But listen. Hockey players play until, their 40s. It's not unheard of here. If they can still do it, bless them.
Yeah, back in the day, the Nordiques. It's a Pepsi Center now, but it used to be called Le Colisée. I mean, great stuff here. And by the way, shout out Eric Lindros for never wanting to play for the Nordiques and winding up in Philadelphia. The man always wanted to be a Philadelphia Flyer. Brad Marchand injured. Is that bad news, Joe, for Canada at the Olympics?
Yeah, not good. Well, it's bad news for the Panthers, too. I mean, it's, not good. Marchand's obviously a pretty important piece to be able to have on the ice for you. So, any sort of injury to him, let's hope it's not, long-lasting here, and we can get him back up sooner rather than later.
The Sabres here. Remember, they used to play at the Aud, no air conditioning here. They played against the Philadelphia Flyers in the Stanley Cup final where you could barely see the ice. Like it was the Ice Bowl at that point, or the Fog Bowl, where the Eagles played the Chicago Bears back in the day. It's a terrible game to go back to. Remember. That's my Philadelphia highlight. We're never good at anything until finally the Eagles have broken through. But Alex Tuch's hack trick against the Kings Thursday marks the 30th this month in the NHL. And it had to be a Sabre, huh? Had to be.
Of course it did. I mean, Buffalo fans jumping. I mean, can't count on the Bills to do anything. So now all of a sudden the Sabres are right there, man. A lot of excitement in Buffalo, which is kind of crazy because usually they're forced to have to root for Toronto when the season is over because the Sabres are already finished. But not this year. Looks like we could be having a totally different Buffalo conversation with the Sabres.
Maybe I'll root for the Sabres this year because the Flyers got torched again last night by the Boston Bruins, 6-3 final. Time for another rebuild in Philadelphia as they get wasted on a night-to-night basis, it feels like.
Well, I mean, boy, what a difference a season makes, huh, Donnie? Because the first couple of weeks, it was Flyers taking it. They're coming. They're back. Nope, they're not back. They're just right where they always were. Unfortunate, though, because you would think such a legendary hockey team and organization would have figured it out by now, but nope, still haven't.
I don't know how you rebound either. Like when you lose a literal generation of fans, like you don't sometimes come back from that. And usually organizations, sometimes it's always been bad. Like the Flyers were decades and decades of maybe not winning Stanley Cups, but always on the precipice of making the playoffs, getting a deep playoff run, and having superstars. And it's been none of that. And I used to be a monster Flyers fan. And no, they don't even make the Richter scale, my house. Like I'll sometimes tune into the Sixers. What are they doing? And the Flyers, like I don't even care how they do. Like I come on the show and look at the box room. Like, oh yeah, look at that. The Flyers lost again last night. It was never that way. It's just the way it is for the Flyers. Their saves 4-1 over the Kings here. They're rolling up there in Buffalo, taking that shine off the Buffalo Bills and saying, you know what? We could be the team that actually gets a title done here in Buffalo.
They can, Donnie. I mean, and listen, the excitement level is real. So they're going to come up with a break. Let's just hope they can. This is kind of uncharted territory for this organization. So let's make sure that they can keep it rolling after the break here.
There you go. Yeah, when you're playing good hockey, you don't want to take that time off for momentum and losing it there. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll be refreshed and ready to come back and play. We're going to head over to the predictive markets coming up next. You know you love those. Where can you invest your money in some of the hottest topics? We got you covered. Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside. We'll be right back after this short break on the SportsGrid Network.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie. And I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So, so that was, I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show in.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, you know, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
How could you tell the story of baseball without Clemens, Rose, and Bonds? You don't have a Hall of Fame if you don't have those three dudes. Sills, you know what, man? These guys took steroids. There wasn't a steroid test and a PED test in Major League Baseball at the time. Do you understand this?
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
The Winter Olympics, they're right around the corner here. What do you like? A little Nordic action out there? Do you like skeet shooting while you got to ski and cross-country ski? Some of these events are absolutely, looks like they're taxing. There's a little bobsled action, but the question we want here in the predictive markets, Joe, is who's going to get the most total medals? Which nation is that going to be? Norway, big favorite, 73% chance. Germany, 15%. U.S., 15%. And how about this? How does Canada only get 3% chance here at this point? Shouldn't Canada be one of those favorites here? Or Canada just goes, we only worry about hockey here. That's it.
You would think, Donnie, right? Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't kind of make any sense, but that's kind of where we're at right now. And it is a little bit head scratching. But yeah, I mean, Norway should get it there. But the big three, I think, is what they're considering is Norway, USA, and Germany, right? That seems to be what most of the betting market likes. You know me, I ain't ever going to go against Team USA in this spot. I think they got a pretty good shot at taking down the most medals.
How about some of the cold weather countries? See, like Poland's only trading at 1% right now. Get it together out here. Belgium, 1%. Czechia, wherever that is, 1%. Austria, only 1%. You should be able to dominate in those fields. What else? Isn't it winter 365 in these countries? What are they doing?
You would think, Donnie, right, that we're not going to talk about those countries in the Summer Olympics. So you would imagine that, yes, we should be, this would be their time to shine here. But it could also be a situation where it's, quantity over necessarily quality, right? The more athletes that you have, the more events that you participate in. It's if you're only going to do 3 events for a nation, it's going to be kind of hard to take down some of these props.
By the way, Olympic hockey is absolutely fantastic. I love it. It's my favorite winter sport there at the Olympic Games. But if you had to take that out of the equation, Joe, like what would be your favorite sport? Like I do like speed skating a lot. I think it's interesting. High level, I guess you could say the figure skaters. Like, is there a sport that you watch outside of hockey? Like, you know what? I'm going to tune into this thing.
Yeah, curling. Love it. Love it late night, man. Just give me a little bit of curling. Feel like I'm out there with a Swiffer. And we're just trying to get that giant bowling ball and wait to stop there. I think that's hysterical. Every time I watch it, I laugh, Donnie. I'm just like, how do you practice? Could you imagine all year, like 4 years leading up, like this is what I don't even know where you would go to even play that sport, Donnie, outside of maybe your hallway with a bunch of Swiffers. I don't know. It's very strange.
I think like the bobsled's pretty cool, and the luge. Isn't that like that looks like you're on your own little sled and you go down there? Those people are absolutely maniacs at this point, and that'll all take place within the next 2 weeks that they're out the Winter Olympics. Pro Football Championship here, not this Sunday. Super Bowl 60 the following Sunday. Seattle and New England on Kalshi right now in these predictive markets. 68% chance right now that Seattle is going to win this football game. The no trading at 33%, Joe.
Yeah, and that's pretty much correlates to what we've seen so far, right, in the markets, Donnie. They should be the favorite. They are the favorite. I know it's a lot of people are struggling, Donnie, right? Who is to, come back down to earth first? Is it Sam Darnold or is it the New England Patriots who rolled one of the easiest schedules and got every break known to mankind, including Bo Nix getting hurt in overtime against the Bills in order to get here? So I know there are a lot of bettors struggling right now to decide which one of those things happens first.
By the way, also the Winter Olympics, the one thing you could probably never get me to do, no matter how much you paid me, is the ski jump, Joe. Because number one, I'm afraid of heights, but it just feels like once you're on that ski jump and you're going down, you can't just turn around and hit the brakes at that point. You're flying, Eddie the Eagle style.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and they have the cameras on them now too, Donnie, so you can see everything as they're getting ready to go. It is pretty crazy. Again, practicing. Imagine just like practicing for that, where every time you jump off, it's like, woo! Don't know if we're gonna make it out of this one. Unbelievable.
Be very aerodynamic. LeBron James' next team here, that's going to be a big question mark here because he's probably not going to be with the Lakers, but it is a tie right now, Joe, at Kalshi. 51% Cleveland, 51% chance here with Los Angeles or retires. How about that? Right down to the coin flip.
Yeah, I don't see Cleveland being in that equation. I think it's Lakers or nothing, Donnie. It's one or the other there. I don't see him going back to Cleveland.
Yeah, it's Golden State's listed at 45% as well. You got some high numbers here that you could bet on. Or if you're just, as Joe says, taking out no contracts left and right here, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as they like to say. We'll find out much more on LeBron James going. That's if you get straight at the deadline. That would send some shockwaves. More hot topics up next.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel. All right, you got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now at 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow. Right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But, these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Hey, daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good. But all of a sudden, the prospect of daddy being away, like, he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
In reality, you and I could coach Josh Allen to 11 wins. Like, it's not that monumental of a task, right? I mean, Josh Allen alone gives you 9, if not 10 wins, just because he's on the field. So we're not asking for much here. The real question is can he coach somebody? Can somebody coach them through the playoffs and make critical decisions that open the door for them to get past certain opponents?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Coaching carousel, 2 stops left, Joe, I believe. I mean, it seems like every single day we have a new spot to open, but at Arizona and also Los Angeles. But Robert Saleh, who probably could have a good job at either one of those institutions here, he's with Tennessee, and he's also talking here about calling the plays in Tennessee. How about that?
I didn't call plays in New York, and I just kind of gave it all to the coordinators, even though we were still part of the game planning and all that. I joke with Borgo on game day when I didn't call plays. I felt like I was just a timeout and red flag guy. I was just kind of I had the greatest seat in the house as a fan. So calling plays for me, it's not necessarily about control, but it's about connecting with the players. When you are a play caller and you are calling plays, you feel the strain that you're putting on them with each call. You're feeling the connection. You're feeling what each one is going through. And again, like I said, I can feel the weight of the play call on individual players in those moments. And to be able to call plays and maintain that connection, maintain that feel for what the players are going through, I think is very, very important from my seat. And it's just one of the many things that'll change throughout my tenure.
He's learning, Joe. The reason I say that here is if you're going to have your second opportunity, you're going down swinging, because sometimes you can say to yourself, that was my defense and we continuously got torched. I'll live with that. But he's right. When you're the head coach, you're in the game plans. Don't get me wrong. There's a big, heavy influence of Robert Saleh that was in New York, but it's not you calling the plays. He understands the magnitude of, if this doesn't go right, I'll never get a head coaching job again. And you know why it's not going to go right? It's certainly not going to be because my defense isn't out there giving its all.
Donnie, I mean, it's great to hear that from him, right? Because it's, if you don't evolve and learn from past mistakes here, then, we don't know. It ain't gonna last very long here. You might as well just stay a coordinator. But I love it. I love he understands the whole CEO concept, delegate, which is why I am very, very interested to see with some of these young first-time head coaches who think they're going to keep the play calling duties. Aaron Glenn in New York, and of course now Joe Brady. I'm going to keep calling a play. Like, you have no idea what other duties you have now as a head coach, where all of a sudden, Donnie, got to keep my head into the defensive room. Then I got to call the plays in the offensive room. It's going to get very interesting for some teams with new coaches this season.
It is, and there you go. Robert Saleh going to call the plays on the defense here. We'll see how that works out. Young quarterback here. Maybe they can grow as a franchise, but certainly learn from his first mistake. You're not going to blame me for this defense here. Let me take control of the reins from day number one and see how that goes. Josh Allen. Been hearing from him a lot during this show, but the biggest news of all for him is I don't care about a Super Bowl. I don't care about the Buffalo Bills. Being a dad is the biggest job I have now.
What is your off season look like? You talk about becoming a dad, the recovery, all of that stuff. I know that's hard to plan as a fellow dad, but like, can you try and map some things out?
I mean, to the best of our abilities, but I've known this from well in advance. I've got siblings that have kids. I've got a lot of friends that have kids, and I don't know if you can plan too far in advance. So I'm very much looking forward to that with my wife, of becoming a dad. It's something that I will take with great pride. And we're gonna have to figure things out on the go, just like anything else. But this is the most important thing I'll ever be in my life, is being a dad. And I know I love being a football player, and I love being a quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, but I'm looking forward to this one.
There you go. Buffalo Bills fans angry. They can never get over the hump. My man's like, I'm already minted. Give me my money. I'm a dad now. Leave me alone.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, it's, you're watching Josh Allen. We've seen him from, who is this guy at draft day from Wyoming? Like, what to now all of a sudden, being an MVP and, having to evolve here now into a player with a new head coach in a very changing landscape. And is the window closing? Do you think he has the window closing on his opportunities? I guess we'll find out rather quickly here next year.
How about this? Like, the NFL Super Bowl is coming up next weekend on next Sunday. We're all going to bet it. Some people plunk down $25, $100, couple $100, get away with it here. 4.5-point spread is on the game if you're not paying any points or any juice on that run. My standard -110, let's call it. How about Devin Booker out here in these streets? He put $1 million down on the Seattle Seahawks with the Fanatic Sportsbook here. But when you say, like, man, you know what? I got to pay -125. So I got to lay $125 to win 100. All right, I'm going to pay $125 to buy it down. Devin Booker buying the line from 4.5 to 3.5, Joe. Going to cost him a couple $100,000. Is that what I'm reading right here? A $1 million wager pays out $1.8 million. And that's not even the craziest part about this. His fan cash is $6,000. If you've ever been on Fanatics, like, hey, let me put down a couple $100. Like, hey, we just gave you $1 in fan cash. Congratulations.
Six G's in fan cash. That is just crazy here. Yeah, well, listen, kudos to him. He's obviously very confident in that, but I mean, $1 million bet, Donnie, and I don't think he's moving the line very much. Do you? You think that bet moved the line up? No, it didn't. You know why it didn't? Because the book's like, I'll take your $1 million because there's nothing sharp about you, Devin Booker. That's why.
By the way, honestly, and I understand, like, the point of getting from 4.5 to 3.5 isn't that, like, monumental. And again, it's the difference. Like, hey, man, I paid an extra $10 to get the point. You're paying a couple $100,000 in juice to get that number there. But when you're in the NBA and you lose $1 million on the game, it's like, it's no big deal. I have millions more to go at this point. The life of an NBA superstar, man, it's fantastic here. Front Office Sports with a tweet yesterday. The NFL will not allow prediction markets to advertise during the Super Bowl. Why? Because they're not getting enough money from those prediction marks here. You're going to see FanDuel, probably DraftKings, and all that good stuff out here, but prohibited list of categories. You can't have a predictive market. I always get a kick out of this.
Yeah, isn't it great? Show up with the money. And at that point, right, DK and whoever, they're like, listen, we're paying you an awful lot of money. That's it. Awful lot of money here, and we are not. We don't want to share the spotlight. The NFL's like, no, we hear you. We hear you. But ultimately, the NFL will win because they'll just pit them all against one another, and the one with the most money is going to win.
By the way, the head coach previously for Michigan State, the guy's name is slipping my mind. Who was the coach at Michigan State that brought over Kenneth Walker III? Who was the coach? Anybody in the background get? Mel Tucker.
Yeah, Mel Tucker, I think. Yes.
Yeah. It was slipping my mind. Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker should give 85% of his paycheck to Kenneth Walker because he got him like a $100 million contract, and the guy can't coach his way out of a paper bag. But how good Kenneth Walker was in that one season transferring from Wake Forest over to Michigan State. As I bring that up, Walker going to be a free agent this offseason. Wouldn't it be nice to go out, Joe? 22 carries, $110 on the ground, 2 touchdowns, ring on my finger here. Man set to be a free agent. He's a big part of that offense.
Yeah, he's going to look good in a Jets uniform, Donnie, because I keep hearing that could be his landing spot when it's all said and done here, because Seattle is not going to open up the checkbook for a running back, not with Charbonnet back there as well. This will be his last hurrah, it feels like, as a running back for Seattle. So enjoy it while you can, because he'll be playing someplace else next year.
By the way, the NFL always has money to burn. Well, Adam Schefter tweet, the NFL officially appointed influential storyteller Dar Mann, no idea who that is, as its first ever chief kindness officer and creator of the week for Super Bowl LX. Is he reading books to the players? Like, does he put them to sleep at night? It's like, hey, we're going to tuck in Drake May tonight with a nice bedtime story. What's my guy doing as a chief kindness officer? We would never have that in Philadelphia.
I would. How do we get that? Apparently, he's very famous too, right? Darmont. Yeah, have you ever heard? I mean, how do you get that job? I would love to be able to get that job.
Well, I'm trying to do a little background on the guy to see what it's about and what he does. But I'm assuming he is probably is he like Miss Rachel, like the girl I see on the all over here that gives out the public services for the kids, and kids like that stuff? Is that what it is? I don't know. Dar Mann.
I don't know.
Reading books to NFL players. Maybe that's just the way it is. Don't have to look any further into it. Joe and Donnie, the Hot Topics continue to roll. We'll be right back.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel. All right. You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah. You're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now at 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good. But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like, he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
In reality, you and I could coach Josh Allen to 11 wins. Like, it's not that monumental of a task, right? I mean, Josh Allen alone gives you 9, if not 10 wins, just because he's on the field. So we're not asking for much here. The real question is can he coach somebody? Can somebody coach them through the playoffs and make critical decisions that open the door for them to get past certain opponents?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The Winter Olympics are just about here, and all we've been hearing basically is not the fact that it's going to be a great Olympics, it's that our NHL players are going to actually die on the surface they play on or fall into a black hole into the pit of the, Earth. By the way, Joe, learning some of these things that I hear my daughter bring up now that I used to learn, like some of the Earth's, not crustacean. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, what are some of the levels of the Earth? Like, as you go down deeper to the core, do you remember any of those levels? Yeah, crust. There you go, crust, mantle, core, and all that stuff. Remember that stuff? Good times.
Yes, I do. Always worried about it every time you dug a hole in the backyard. You were like, oh boy, How far do I got to go before I make it to China? Yeah.
Like, exactly. Somebody's got to do that for us. We got to get somebody to be able to just dig to China and see if it actually happens at that point where they come out. But the Olympics, they are coming to Italy, Milan, since 1956. It's been a long time for Milan over there, huh?
That's crazy, right? Since 1956. Wow. That's going to be absolutely. Well, that's good. Good. I mean, listen, this whole process with the Olympics and the bidding and who gets to get what is just, it's over the top rigged. It's so corrupt, it's not even funny. But hey, listen, kudos, Milan. I think there's a reason why it's taken that long for us to get you to get it back to your location.
Back to the location. By the way, we do have some pictures of some uniforms that these teams will be wearing released at the opening ceremonies. Mongolia's uniforms here. Some people saying they have the coolest uniforms there. I'll tell you one thing about Mongolia. You wear that uniform, cook me a little Mongolian beef at PF Chang's. I'll wear that uniform, man. I love Mongolian beef.
Not sure that they have PF Chang's in Mongolia, but your point with the certainly with the uniform looks actually pretty cool. I'm wondering how many are actually on the Mongolian team, Donnie. I'm wondering how many. Is it just those two people?
I don't think I could find Mongolia on a map either. By the way, I don't think I could find Mongolia on a map. But I'm telling you right now, damn good spicy beef. Damn good spicy beef over there in Mongolia. I'll tell you that much here. How about Canada? Yep. Here's a first. They're going to send 207 athletes over there, but only a 3% chance to win the total gold medal count or medal count. That's ridiculous. And also, for the first time, the women outnumber the men. Tough time to be a man in Canada, man. Just getting beat up by the women, huh?
No, that's rough. I mean, you're outnumbered across the board, and nobody thinks collectively you're going to be able to be good enough to take down the big three of what? Norway, U.S., or Germany. Because you're coming in fourth best at that point in the market. That's not a good sign, Canada. Not a good sign.
The Olympics, man. You got to spend a lot as a country to get the Olympics in. It always feels like you take a massive deficit and everybody got paid, but the people that were supposed to get paid at this point here. By the way, the 2026 Winter Olympics most gold medal count. Norway minus 170. Going to buy into that price point here. USA plus 480 in second there in the odds market. I like to see that.
I do too. Listen, at plus 480, that's worth taking a flyer. I believe Norway last year was your medal count winner as well there, Donnie. So looking to go, last time it was around, looking to go back-to-back here as the most medals. But I guess they're that kind of price for a reason, right? Because that's a huge drop from minus 170 to plus 450. The market's telling you something right there.
Most medals, Norway minus 250. Then you got Germany at a 5-1 price. Team USA plus 750. I always thought it was unfair too, Joe. Like, if you are like a cross-country skier and you win that gold medal, it's one gold medal towards your nation because you did it yourself. Like when ice hockey, let's say you got 25 guys. When you win ice hockey, why not 25 medals goes to your count, Joe? Why aren't we having this conversation?
Yeah, you would think, right? But I mean, that price, Donnie, too, again, that's almost a 72% probability that they are, without a doubt, walking away with the most medals in the Olympics. So they're telling you this could be a runaway train here. And I mean, you're talking about a difference of maybe 10 to 12 medals. It's not even close, Donnie, with them.
By the way, the Nagano Olympics, maybe like 20 plus years ago, I believe, the Winter Olympics, that was the year that the NHL players went there and trashed all of their hotel rooms here. Maybe we can get the boys fired up again and do that, or maybe Team USA can just win their share of gold medals. How about this? 8.5 is the total for Team USA's gold medal count. Joe, are we getting double digits as Team USA at the Winter Olympics or no?
Well, I mean, we better, right? Alpine skiing, speed skating, I believe figure skating, snowboarding, alpine skiing, and, of course, hockey. We have the opportunity to take them all down here, Donnie.
How about this, though? The Winter Olympics men's ice hockey count here. You take a look at Team Canada, plus 120, the favorite. Team USA, plus 210. Sweden, Finland, Czechia, and Switzerland at 33-1 here. Can USA overtake Canada and get that gold, Joe?
Absolutely they can here. And ultimately, it feels like that is the two-horse race. And I think ultimately Canadians, don't really care if their team competes in the luge or the bobsled, Donnie, or anything else. They just want that gold when it comes to ice hockey, and that is the only thing that's going to matter there.
All right, here's what we got, Joe. The opening ceremony of the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympics will air on NBC and stream on Peacock February 6th from San Siro Stadium here. Will you be watching the opening ceremony here? I'm not a big fan of the opening ceremonies. Not a big fan.
No, I mean, you browse through it like, oh, look, that's nice. Look, a lot of people waving, and then, okay, next. Just let me know when the luge is on and we're good to go here. So, yeah, not a big fan of that at all.
By the way, when it was in Paris, the opening ceremony, I think it took like 6 days to get through. Like, that was a big, epic thing. But I feel in the winter, it's just too cold for all that nonsense. Like, does anybody want to be sitting in that stadium here and watching like fireworks like 5-6 hours on end as you're freezing at the Winter Olympics?
Yeah, I agree. There's a big difference between the Summer Olympics, I think, and the Winter Olympics as far as that pageantry goes there. So, yes, I do believe that it'll be nice. It'll be a lot of fanfare, but it will be certainly a little more laid back than what we just witnessed there with the Summer Olympics.
By the way, if you were an Olympic athlete, Joe, opening ceremony to closing ceremony, would you rather your event be early in the Olympics or later in the Olympics? Because it goes two ways. You go day one and win your gold medal. That is a 2-week party that you love. You go day one and don't even place for a medal. Do they just send you home early like at that point? You didn't get to stay? Like,
pretty much.
You're embarrassed. Right back.
Yep, pretty much.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel. All right. You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah. You're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now. It's 3:30 in the morning. And we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. There's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good. But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like, he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
In reality, you and I could coach Josh Allen to 11 wins. Like, it's not that monumental of a task, right? I mean, Josh Allen alone gives you 9, if not 10 wins, just because he's on the field. So we're not asking for much here. The real question is can he coach somebody? Can somebody coach them through the playoffs and make critical decisions that open the door for them to get past certain opponents?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Final segment of the week right here on the early line. We put in all that hard work so we can enjoy the weekend and get you set up for all the hot topics that you need to know. One of those hot topics right now is tennis down under at the Australian Open. How about Alcaraz advancing over Zverev, with Zverev being unhappy about a late timeout in tennis that maybe saved a little bit of cramping from Alcaraz. Joe, do you support the tennis timeouts?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. For that reason alone, Donnie. Like, you don't want to beat a dude because he's cramping. Like, you want to make sure that you're beating him because he is
Beat him
good to
down.
go. You don't want any excuses in there. I mean, come on, that's absurd. Yes, I agree with it. Now, had you beat him after he called the timeout, I'm curious, would you still have objected to them calling the timeout? I think not, Donnie.
Timeout, people. And by the way, we're also having a fifth set epic run here in the other semifinal. Novak Djokovic here lost the first set to Sinner 6-3, then beat him second set 6-3. Sinner wins the third set 6-4. Djokovic comes right back 6-4 in the fourth set. And now we're 2-1 Sinner in the fifth set here. Djokovic looking to turn on the heat versus Sinner, Joe.
The old man, can he get it done? Likely not. This is likely Sinner and Alcaraz once again, Donnie. What a shocker.
How about that? Let's flip it over to golf. Yesterday, my guy Brooksy, it's like 200-1 to win his golf tournament, about 10 shots back of the pace. But here's he talking about family, baby.
Just because I care. I think I've fallen back in love with the game. And honestly, watching my son play a little bit and wanting to be able to see him watch me, or I guess want him to watch me play well and realize how much this game's given me, how fun it is, and how cool it is to just be out here.
We're too soft in sports right now, Joe. I'm hearing way too much about people and their family. I want to hear about I want winners, as we used to say.
Yeah, let's go, bro. I'm still, every major he is in this year, I'll absolutely have a ticket on him here. The guy in his entire career has always shown up only at the biggest events, right? The majors is what matters to him. That's where I'll have my tickets on him this year for sure.
Let's get to our Fade the Public poll. Let's hear from the people right here. Simple question asked here at SportsGrid on X. The Olympics are next week. Who will win the most gold medals? Norway, USA, Germany, and Canada here. No surprise, Team USA should be at the top of the standings, and the public is saying they are at the top of the standings at close to live right now, 65%.
Yeah, that's an emotional response because the market is telling you no way is that happening. It is going to be Norway once again here who will have the most medals, the most gold, the most everything. It feels like Team USA is really battling for second place there between Germany and Canada. But that's, to me, it looks like it's Norway's Olympics, and we're all just participating here at this point.
Plus 480, take the price. 65% of the people have done that. It's the right way to do things. Now, it's Friday, it's payday. Let's get some best bets out there. He's bye. Yeah, Joe, it's time to get those bets out there for the people. Friday, let them know.
Well, game of the night, Donnie, by far, Michigan on the road to Michigan State in a battle of two Big Ten behemoths right now. And you're telling me that you're giving Coach Izzo and Michigan State at home points? I don't care how many they are. I've got no problem taking those points and backing the home team. That place is going to be rocking. And listen, Michigan started the season off on fire. They crushed everyone, and they got overvalued, Donnie. They're 0-7 against the number in their last 7. They're not blowing teams out. They're playing with fire. Michigan State gets it done here tonight. Take them not only with the points, but on the money line.
I need a bounce back tonight. My NBA wager lost yesterday. No thanks to the Atlanta Hawks. But tonight we're bouncing back with what team? That powerhouse, Brooklyn Nets. They seem to be treating me better than any other team in the NBA. The Nets are on the road tonight, taking on the Utah Jazz, only getting 25% of the early tickets. This line currently sits at +3 for the Nets. I'm taking the Nets, +3 tonight. Joe's taking Sparty, getting some points. 2 dogs barking tonight in the NBA and college basketball to end your week in style before next week. It's Super Bowl week, Joe. Time to get after it.
Time to get after it. A lot to be done here, though, this weekend. Time to pad that bankroll.
Stay warm, people. And I'm talking about you, Joe Ranieri. We'll see you guys on Monday.